Hi there, Jim Chapman here, regional chef for Intuit. And today we're going to do something really fun. My kids asked me to make nachos for dinner, and one of them actually follows a vegan diet. So I thought, let's twist a classic. So this is going to be really exciting. Today we're going to make vegan nachos with chorizo that is meatless. So very excited about this one. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's super simple. Looking forward to it. Time to make our vegan chorizo. So this is soy riso. So the center of what we're doing is we're going to take firm tofu and we're going to crumble it up to resemble ground pork. Some key ingredients that are like the common flavors in pork chorizo. A lot of Mexican flavors here. So I recommend toasting your spices for an even richer and more powerful flavor. So this is coriander that I toasted the whole seeds and I ground them up in my coffee grinder. If you have a mortar and pestle, that works as well. This is cumin. This I had in the powdered form, but I put it in a dry saute pan to kind of toast it up, again, to wake up the essential oils and add a lot more flavor, a lot more depth than if I just used that powdered stuff I had laying around in the cupboard. Smoked paprika. This is what's going to give us our deep, rich color and a nice smoky flavor that, again, kind of resembles what pork would be. Here we have ancho chili powder. Again, a nice smoky note, gives us a little bit of heat, and then lends to that color profile that we're looking for as well. Part of the cooking technique we're going to use is caramelization. Again, will also lend the traditional texture and flavor of pork chorizo. Some fresh ground black pepper, and these are herbs that I had in the garden that I dehydrated here at home. This is fresh thyme and oregano. So we're going to put all these together, and I'll show you what the mix looks like, and I'll show you how to cook it. All right, let's assemble our soy riso, the vegan chorizo. So I took the firm tofu and I drained out all the liquid. And then what you just want to do is you want to just crumble it up. We're going to mix all these spices in there so you can see that it's really easy to crumble. You can put it in a mixer or a food processor if you want, but really you don't need to, because what we're going to do here is we're going to cook it and caramelize it in a saute pan. So we're going to even break it up even more. So we're kind of resembling ground pork here as far as texture goes. Again, you don't want to pulverize it or mash it too much because it'll just get creamy. So we got a nice, good texture there. And we're going to add our spices. I'm going to start with a little bit, go for it, cumin and coriander. This is the smoked paprika, ancho chili powder. And we have measurements in the recipes, and it's usually about a teaspoon or so of each for this amount. And we can always add more as we taste when we're cooking. So we're putting some of the herbs in there. I'm try and avoid any sticks in there. I don't want those. All right. And then some kosher salt for seasoning. All right. And then it's just as simple as this. Get it all together. It's a start. And then what we're going to do is we're going to heat up some olive oil in a heavy bottom pan. I'm using cast iron myself. And we'll start the caramelization process. Now we're going to cook our vegan chorizo. Okay, no pork. We made it with soy tofu. A little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. We got our pan nice and hot. You can see it jumping around a little bit, so it's ready for action. All right, simple as adding this to the pan. You want that to sizzle. It's going to create flavor, memories, fun times for all. All right, so you want to spread that evenly. Okay, and we're gonna leave it. We're gonna let it sit. And that's gonna create some caramelization on the bottom. All right, and then every so often we're gonna scrape from the bottom. I got a nice flat spatula that I can use to turn. All right, and then we have a high temperature rubber spatula you can use as well. Just some basic tools. So I'm gonna let that set for a couple minutes, get some good caramelization going, and then I'll show you how we're gonna turn it and what it looks like when it's almost ready. You can hear that nice sizzle going on. That means flavor's happening. You can smell it. Oh, you can smell the cumin. I can smell the oregano, the thyme. Really nice. So I got my high temp rubber spatula here. I'm gonna start flipping it. You can see it's getting nice and caramelized on the bottom. I want it to burn, so we're gonna use this metal spatula and we're gonna just scrape from the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see all that flavor starting. Okay, I didn't touch this, so that's the key, is letting it sit and caramelize and develop. Look at all that beautiful color there and flavor. That's where it's gonna really turn into chorizo. All right, so I'm just gonna shake it up a little bit to redistribute it. All right, it's well heated now, so it's gonna caramelize a little faster than when we first started. So we want to keep an eye on it. So the key is to come back and keep checking it, using the same technique to go from the bottom, turn it over. And we're going to keep doing this until it cooks out a lot of the moisture in the tofu, and it's going to resemble the texture and the flavor of a pork chorizo. So we're going to check back on this in a couple minutes and see where we are going to make the cheese sauce. It's as simple as this. There's lots of different recipes on the internet. I kind of twisted this one up myself to fit what I wanted flavor and texture wise, but all vegan, right? So this is a vegan cheese sauce. Do you see cheese anywhere here? No. So we're using, instead of cream or milk, we're using coconut milk, which is very rich and thick. It's got a very good texture. It lends itself very well to what we're doing here today. Where does the cheese come in, chef? This is called nutritional yeast. Okay, it's very prominent in vegan cuisine. It has the flavor of a Parmesan cheese, more or less, and it adds some nutritional value to it as well. I picked this up at our local grocer. They have them at specialty markets, and health food stores have it as well. It looks kind of like fish food, the texture there, but the flavor is amazing, and it really dissolves well in the cream. So that's where our cheesiness is coming from. Our color, that beautiful nacho cheese sauce that we all love at the ballpark or at the movie theater, it's deep yellow, isn't it? So we're using turmeric. Turmeric is really good. Obviously, lots of great health benefits. This is where we're gonna get our color from. Want to be careful not to use too much, because then it'll taste like curry versus what we're trying to achieve, which is a mimic of the nacho cheese sauce. All right, some other flavor profiles that we need to add here. The smoked paprika once again. This is onion powder, onion granulated rather. You can use onion powder as well, either one. Some more of our chili powder to give it that little bit of kick that we enjoy in cheese sauce, our nacho cheese sauce. Some more of our dried fresh oregano, straight from the garden. And this is garlic granulated. And then of course a little bit of salt, and you can use whatever hot sauce you like. You can make it as spicy or not spicy as you like. I prefer to use a Mexican style hot sauce, so I'm using Cholula today, but you can use Tapatio, Tabasco, whatever flavors you like to create this sauce. So as far as technique goes, very simple. You add the milk. I recommend warming it up just a little bit in a nice heavy bottom saucepan, and then you add your powders, herbs, and spices to it, and you simmer it till you get the texture you like. Adjust the seasoning to make it, as flavorful as you're looking for. Adjusting the salt, and then I can also add more nooch if I want a little more cheesy flavor, touch more turmeric if I want a deeper color as well. So I'm gonna put all this stuff together and show you guys what it looks like simmering on the stove. Our chorizo here, so you can hear it sizzling away. It's basically evaporating all the moisture in the tofu to give us the texture of what the pork sausage would be like. All right, so we're gonna gently scrape the bottom, get all the bits of beautiful caramelization. Look at that. That's where all your flavor's coming from, everybody. So again, I'm just moving the bottom, make sure nothing burns. I'm gonna continue cooking it like this until a lot of the moisture is gone. Boy, you can really smell all those spices now. They're waking up even more than when I toasted them originally. You can see what the process is like here. So I'm gonna hold this in a warm oven until we're ready to eat dinner tonight. But you can chill this out and have it in your fridge. You can use it in any application that you can think of that chorizo would be for, except no meat. How about that? So again, we're mimicking a pork chorizo. Here's what it looks like. It'll be done in a couple minutes, and we'll have it for our vegan nacho recipe this evening. Sauce. No cheese, but we have all these great ingredients that we just talked about. So I've already started simmering our coconut milk. I'm gonna use a whisk for this to try and avoid any lumps of spice. Very cool. Very good tip is to make sure that the coconut milk is a little bit warm at least, because when it's cold, the fat molecules in the coconut milk will grab those spices and cause clumping. So I just want to warm it up just a little bit to touch. All right, to make sure it's warm. So inside of my pot, I got some warmth going. All right, so I'm going to add my oregano. Get that warmed up and going in there. All right, and we're going to go with our smoked paprika. All right, a little bit at a time. So again, to avoid clumping. Again, we have measurements in the recipes. However, you're going to want to add a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that to make it what you want it to taste like. The basic recipe I found online again and just kind of tweaked it. There's my dog chiming in. She's a big vegan chorizo and nacho cheese lover, as you can tell. She was making sure that she was part of this
He is a Chihuahua after all, so you know they have kind of Latin tendencies. Anyway, so there's our turmeric. So you can see it starts to get that wonderful color going a little bit. I'm gonna whisk that in so there's no lumpies. Okay, do the sides every now and then. Now we have garlic. A little bit of garlic in there, guys. That's kind of the backbone of the flavor of this. Again, just whisking constantly. All right. One thing we didn't talk about, this is the onion, is how thick we want this sauce. Now, that all depends on what your application is. You know, Nachos cheese sauce is usually a little bit on the thicker side. You can see by the viscosity of this here that it's not quite that thick yet. However, I have a little tip that we can share a little bit later. Here's the chili powder. To thicken the sauce to whatever consistency we want. We're gonna use a slurry, which is basically equal parts cornstarch and water, and I'll show you guys how to do that in the next segment when this is all heated up. And you wanna simmer this just a little bit so that the spices open up. We're going all in on this one, guys. It's gonna be nice and flavorful. But isn't that color incredible? Look at the color. All right, we're looking for that canned nacho sauce that we all know and love. You know, the good stuff. Anyway, we're making it from scratch. It's gonna be healthier. A little pinch of salt to wake everything up. I'm gonna add a couple dashes of hot sauce, and we're probably gonna end up adjusting that at the end because we might want a little bit more, so we're gonna hang on to that one. Again, stirring constantly, get all the sides so there's no clumps. All right, and now the main ingredient, the thing that's gonna give us our cheesiness, nooch. It's called nutritional yeast or nooch. I'm gonna put in a nice healthy pinch of that. All right, whisk them in. Looks like fish food, doesn't it? Oh man, it smells nacho-y already in here. Yeah, I can tell we don't want to reduce this too much, so we're gonna need to thicken it. You can tell by how thick it is, or thin it is, I should say. I want it to be a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna let this simmer just for a couple minutes. Let all those spices wake up. We'll come back, we'll taste it, and we'll adjust the thickness. The sauce is nice and simmering. You can see by the size of the bubbles that it's still a little on the thin side, okay? So I'm gonna give it a quick stir. Flavor's right there. Look at that color. It really is mimicking what nacho cheese sauce is all about, but it's, you know, completely dairy free. So I'm gonna thicken it just a little bit. So it's not cheating actually, but this is called a slurry. So you have a little bit of cold water here. Cold water works best. And then cornstarch. I'm just gonna add a couple teaspoons of cornstarch to the water. And I'm gonna use that, just a little whisk. Kind of break it up, and then we're gonna just add enough of this to the sauce to give us the texture that we want. So you'll see it. It works really quickly, and I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time. As you're whisking it, you can feel it. As soon as it heats up, it kind of seizes, grabs all the fat and water molecules in there, and binds them with the corn starch. So gluten-free all the way. We didn't use any gluten products in here, any dairy products. So it's 100% vegan. But man, look at it starting to thicken up a little bit as it, you know, this is cold water, so it's going to come back up to temperature and you'll start to see it thicken. All right, and that will be the perfect thing. I'm going to show you what it looks like here. Keep going. I'm not going to add all that because I don't want it to be gluey or goopy either. I still want it to be flowing, some nice dip. But if you wanted to, you can add it till it's thick, and you can stand chips up in it if you want to make it that thick. Sometimes we have that really thick cheese sauce that we like to use as a dip. That would work really well. Man, you put that soy riso in here, and you make a nice thick cheese sauce, and you have what they call queso fundido, but again, vegan. Usually it's pork chorizo inside of a rich, creamy cheese sauce. So you can do that with this as well, but we're making nachos. Get a good shot of what that plate looks like in a little bit. I'm gonna let that simmer out. You do want to simmer the cornstarch a little bit because it will taste starchy. So once you cook it, it'll cook that flavor out. You can see how slow it's moving there. That means it's thickening up. Just gonna simmer just for another minute there. But I want to show you guys here. I want to show you what kind of texture we're talking about right now. So I'm gonna kind of scoop from one side. See how thick that is? You can see how it coats the spoon. All right. French call that nappe, or to coat. All right. We want it to coat our chips, right? So we're gonna simmer this just for a minute or two more, and it will be ready for our finishing touches on our plate. So we'll let that simmer, let it thicken, let it set, and we'll build our plate with all of our fresh ingredients to have this go on top.
So now these are the ingredients that we like. I mean, these are some traditional things that, you know, come with nachos. At the ballpark, you got the wonderful sliced black olives, pickled jalapenos. I actually did this in a previous video, but these are fresh jalapenos that I pickled here at home. You can definitely buy these jarred in the grocery store. Green onions are traditional to go on top. We love fresh cilantro, avocado. You can make it into guac. You can serve it diced. Some nice fresh tomatoes, a little squeeze of lime juice, and then your favorite tortilla chip. You can absolutely fry your own tortillas very simply, but there's lots of great brands out there that'll give you the same effect. I like to use the triangles. Some people like to use the rounds. I know it depends where you're at. The movie theater usually has the rounds. I think the ballpark usually has the rounds as well, but we like the triangles, kind of like the Mexican restaurants. So these are the ingredients that we like. These are what we're having on ours for dinner. Sky's the limit. You can put whatever you like. I'm gonna assemble a plate for you guys coming up now. Let's put the finishing touches on our vegan nacho plate. So again, these are just what we like to have on there. All right, but you guys get the idea. All this fun stuff on there. There's two schools of thought here. I mean, some people go with cheese, then toppings. Some people go toppings, then cheese on top of it all. I like the first one because I like to see all the ingredients. I think it's prettier. So we're gonna go with our cheese sauce. Ooh, look at that. Now, let's admit it, this does not look like that canned stuff with the neon yellow that we all know and love, me especially. I love that stuff. But the benefit of this is, A, it's vegetarian, vegan, and we know exactly what's in there. All the ingredients are natural. There's no preservatives and none of that gunk that's probably in that wonderful neon stuff that we love. All right, I'm gonna go with a little bit of avocado on mine, just like that. And then we're gonna go with some tomato, nice in amount, okay. My son loves black olives, so we're gonna get some black olives on there. Touch of green onion. All right, not too much. Get a little squeeze. Oh, look at these bad boys. We pickled these a couple days ago, and boy, they're unique. Very, very good. Oh, the soy riso. That's the quote-unquote meat of the dish. Okay, we want to clean up our edge a little bit. We got our sauce, a little bit of cilantro to garnish. All right, and voila. Can you believe this is vegan? Absolutely no meat whatsoever. This is what it's like to take a classic, make it fun, make it healthy, and we can still enjoy this classic. You can put this more in your menu rotation than you would on a normal basis because usually it's a special treat that you only take when you go to the ball game or you go to the movie theater or whatnot. This could be a healthy dinner for your family, and look at how fun that is. Thanks for joining me today. I got more of these coming for you. Hope you enjoy it. Now I get to do the fun stuff, and that's eat it. Take care.